time to play ball. Welcome to the podcast with no limits. Whether it be sports, current events, or random thoughts, this is the place to step in and stay a while. Your host is a proud alumnus of Rio Hondo Prep, a former minor league baseball umpire, and a man with strong opinions. Welcome to the Get Home Safe podcast and your host, Matt Hersema.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Get Home Safe. Happy Monday to everyone out there. We are recording this on Sunday morning, and it's been a pretty good weekend overall, although it was unfortunate this Friday evening where our beloved Rio Hondo Prep Cares did lose their first game of the season to the Campbell Hall Vikings in a matchup of undefeated teams. I was there in person. It was quite an exciting evening, back and forth game. Both teams really wanted this one and needed it. And unfortunately, Campbell Hall was just a little bit better on Friday night. But outside of Rio Hondo Prep, my Rams won on Thursday night. Very happy about that. Incredible boxing on Saturday night between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Some amazing college football games. The baseball playoffs were in full swing. Dodgers, even the series. A lot of great things over the weekend. But unfortunately, Rio Hondo Prep did lose, and we're going to talk about the Rio Hondo Prep game today. I will cover some sports topics and things on Wednesday, and then we'll have another great guest for you on Friday, as you guys are well aware of the schedule and everything. So we're going to bring on head football coach Mark Carson on the show here in a second, and then later we're going to be joined by senior running back Jonathan Guerrero, who had himself an evening on Friday, rushing for almost 200 yards. Over 25 carries. I'll get you the exact numbers here shortly, but the workhorse for the Cares on Friday night, just an absolute stud, tough performance. The team really needed him, and he put the team on his shoulders. So we're going to be joined by him after Coach Carson, and we're going to recap the game and also recap the game today and talk about maybe some potential playoff situations. We did hear from a fan or two, and I have a voicemail for you guys that for Coach Carson, actually. But anyway, I've wasted enough time this morning. I've had some technical issues. I had camera and computer issues. I'm over it. I'm ready to get in here and talk to Coach and Jonathan. So I will step aside and we'll bring on the main features, if you will. First, head football coach Mark Carson, and then Jonathan Guerrero. Okay, I'm joined once again by the head football coach of Rio Hondo Prep, Mark Carson. Mark is in his backyard, it looks like, nice and cozy, a little calm, relaxed. How you doing this morning, Mark?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I am fantastic. You know, Mark, it's been a pretty amazing weekend for me. Started early with my Rams winning Thursday, amazing college football yesterday, and some a boxing match, heavyweight fight that lived up to its billing. And then I already got NFL football on this morning. The game in Europe, the Falcons and the Jets, if you want to call those teams NFL. The only downside of my weekend so far was Friday night, my friend.
Yeah, that was didn't go as planned. Disappointing, to say the least. And but a great game. It was a great vibe at Care Park. Great crowd. And it was a lot of fun, and, just didn't get the result we were all hoping for.
Yeah. Someone's got to lose. It's cliche and everything. And there's a lot of things that went on in the game that I'm sure are frustrating. And it just makes you realize, I think, not you, but just us in general, that every inch matters. Every little mistake that you make as a team or a player or a coach or whatever, those things get at you, because there's plenty of things that happen in the game that you can't control. So it really, to me, exemplified what a football game can be, and you guys have had a ton of blowouts. So just a lot of crazy things that happened. And, Mark, I hate to say it, I just felt like maybe a couple too many mistakes on your guys' part. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I thought that, not the turning point, that's not the right word, but a key pivot point in the game was we're up 9-0 and just made them punt. Feeling really good about everything. Crowd's hyped. Our guys are, flying around. We get the ball near midfield, run a play. Our guys could literally run with their eyes closed and have probably run over 1,000 times. and we fumble and turn it over right there. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. So it goes from, going up to score likely. I mean, even on that play, there was a huge lane to run in, and going into score, or at the very least, pinning them back to punt again after a punt. Let's say we go score up 16-0. And then we just start rolling. They get out of what they got to do. And that's kind of been our MO. Especially the last few years, we just jump on people with our energy and the aggressiveness of how aggressive our guys play and how hard they hit. And then teams scramble to try to recover. What happened with Pauly this year, who's turning out not to have that bad of a season. They were up 13-7 on Monrovia in the second quarter in their game and kind of got wore down. But Pauly, that game, we were up 14-0 4 minutes in, and they never recovered. And, that's what it kind of started like. And then we get that fumble, they score 2 or 3 plays later, and all of a sudden, all right, now it's a football game. And it goes from possibly 16-0 to 9-7. And it just changed the whole feeling of the game. And you can see their sideline kind of change their demeanor, because they were like, "Oh man, what are we getting into?" And we just, because they Campbell Hall, I believe, is averaging over 50 points a game. Just been rolling over everybody and average on giving up, less than a touchdown a game, and so or about that, and it's a little over a touchdown maybe. And so I think we kind of shocked them, but they responded, and that was to me the pivot point of the game where we could have done what Rio does and kind of stomped on them, and then had control of the game the rest of the way with a 2 touchdown cushion. And it didn't happen. So that's a long answer to, I can't even remember the question now.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty on your mind. How do you can't miss an extra point, Jets in England. Brutal. They love the kicking game there in England. But anyway, no, for you and me, we've seen a lot of football over the years, been around it, coached it, I've refereed it. I mean, a football game has many forks in the road, not just one. There's many times in a football game where, okay, this game's going to go one of 2 directions. Okay. Then a quarter later, okay, now another play. And I did feel in that moment when you guys got the ball back, you're rolling, I go, this is their opportunity to really make a statement and to put the fear of God really into Campbell Hall. And unfortunately, you said it before the game when I interviewed you. You said, if we win the 3 turnovers or all those keys. Yep. And I don't think you guys probably did have one, but that's another story. Cam, you guys turned the ball over twice on paper. You turned it over twice. They did not at all. It's magic how that works.
Yeah, it's amazing, and our guys know it, and any football fan knows it. You lose the turnover battle in a close game, it's probably gonna be the difference, and I would say that was the difference. And very unfortunate, our guys, they fought like lions, and they were gave it everything they had. And yeah, that was probably the key stat of the game. And they got 2 touchdowns off those turnovers, which magnified it even more. But the forks in the road and the different paths football games take is what's so cool about football. And there's just so many storylines and so many, angles to look at the game, and every play is magnified in a close game. And just the fact that, we pretty much got all our yards on the ground, and they pretty much got all their yards in the air. You're like, are you playing the same sport? And yeah, it's the same sport. Yeah. But it's cool, the strategy and the chess match that goes behind that. And they were a very balanced team coming in, almost exactly as far as plays they ran, 50-50 run pass. And one of our goals was to make them one-dimensional, and we did. But man, they just had some huge plays, and their kids, credit to them, QB stuck in there, getting popped a few times and made some great throws. And their big, tall receivers went up and got them. And really, he put them in spots where only they could get them. And that was impressive on their part. And credit all the credit goes to Coach Keys and Campbell Hall on that.
Yeah. Trent Dilfer has a saying, there's no defense for a perfect throw. And there were a few perfect throws. There's also a few that he just missed early deep balls. I was holding my breath. So you guys dodged the bullet there, but you guys outrushed Campbell Hall 275 to -12. So you did make them one dimensional. I felt at one point I turned to your brother Todd and I said, you know what, if we can't cover him, maybe we just need to get pressure on this guy because he buys time. Their O-line did pretty good. I was really impressed with their left tackle, number 50. That dude's going to play somewhere else. I think.
Player.
Oh man, great player. But anyway, but yeah, Mark, they did throw for 300 something yards. Yeah.
333 or something like that.
Yeah. It was some NFL numbers for sure. And I'll try to remember everything I can here because there were so many things, so many emotions going through me as I'm there. But let's focus on some positives. You talked about it already, the support there. It was a homecoming. Although I think they canceled the ceremony and everything. But I talked to a few people before the game, specifically your vice principal. I was texted him about another subject. He asked if I was coming to the game, Edwin Nixon. I said, yeah, I'll be there. And he says, wow. He goes, man, we got the NFHS network here, the Pasadena Star News, and the podcast. We got more media covers than Alabama. And so I chuckled at that. It had a feel right for something kind of bigger.
Yeah, definitely had the big game feel. And we postponed the homecoming festivities to October 22nd. So that's still happening just because of the threat of inclement weather and having all those kids out there and families out there in bad weather. Early in the week, it was like 70% chance, which, man, that would have helped us too. A nice little rainstorm would have been great. But anyway, so homecoming is still happening on the 22nd. RHP alums, if you're going to come out for that, please do. But yeah, it was just a great vibe. And you could just, we've been to enough sporting events where there's a buzz, and so there's a buzz. And our fans are awesome. And it's, Friday Night Lights at its best.
Yeah. Their fans were into it too. And I love when fan bases kind of know what's going on. That's kind of cool. Hey, this is a big moment, a key play, if you will. It's not like, hey, what's the score? When's the game over? And then, but alumni, even if they couldn't make it, there were guys who, how do I watch this game? Cause and texted me, I'm like, go to this website. And so a lot of people were tuning in. Of course, our good friend, Maynard Bajorquez, who's very loyal listener to the program. But Mark, he was texting me, he's on the East Coast. He stayed up till 10 p.m. or whatever on his Friday night, ready to watch this football game. And I was like, man, God bless you. That's awesome. And he said his quote, we were texting and he said something like, we miss wearing the pads, hearing the band and playing under the lights. An amazing feeling. Plus it's homecoming. So it was homecoming at the time. But so that's someone like Maynard. I think Maynard, speaks for a lot of people that way, that for the support of the program, it's been a long time, but we're still that guy staying up at 10 p.m. to watch a high school football game of your alma mater.
Yeah. And it probably finished for him around 1. Yeah. So no, it's awesome. And our guys on the field, coaches, everyone feels it and appreciates it, appreciates the love. And really the uncompromised support. Our guys, after the handshake, they're coming over to do our alma mater, and the crowd was standing and cheering. And, that means a lot to the kids. And it's, they recognized a well-fought game and the effort that the guys put in. So, we can't thank our parents, alumni, fans enough for their awesome support. And hey, we're just getting started both this year and moving forward. We only want it to get bigger and better. And so we want that support. I got a lot of texts afterward. I was texting almost all day Saturday with somebody. It was kind of funny about the game. And so, and so it's awesome. And we're just getting started, and we want that support to continue to build this thing to something not better, but just bigger and more magnified than it even is. Our goal is to be best in the West San Gabriel Valley. And we think we could do that. And nights like Friday, I think just typify how special a high school football experience can be, not just for the kids, but for the fans and everyone in attendance. So.
Yeah. I believe, as you do, Rio Hondo Prep football, it's a brand. It's a brand that I think it goes with people after high school. They still follow it. And if you don't quite understand what it is, I challenge anyone, come to a game, come check it out. Listen to this podcast, do the YouTube, just hear from alumni, try to understand it before you bash it or anything. Cause Rio is a brand. I mean, reporter James Escarcega, I think is how you say, I still talk. Escarcega. Talk to him a little bit. Mark, he is sold on the program. He loves it. He's very impressed with Jonathan Guerrero, who's on the program later today. It was fun talking to him, kind of an outsider, unbiased opinion. And, Rio Hondo Prep football, man, it is growing by a little popularity here.
Yeah. James Carson does a great job for the Pasadena Star News Tribune group. And he came out recognizing the big game. And, he texted me afterwards about JG and texted me about some officiating too, but I won't comment on that. But his comment on Jonathan was like, he's first team all area, no matter what. And I couldn't agree more. And Jonathan was just incredible. And, that's something I got text from across the country on that one. And your running back's incredible. And so, he was just amazing. And he played the whole game in free safety, played special teams, and then carried us on offense behind a great O-line performance, I might add. But he carried us, and he's so durable. And every time he gets, he got drilled a couple times, including that guy number 50 who he'll play college football, just popped him. But, Jonathan, you never doubt it. He's going to get right back up. He pops up and goes. And in amazing shape, an amazing player, and he's – we're going to miss him, but hopefully the ride will continue.
27 carries, 195 yards, and you just kept giving him the ball. There was one run, I think, in the fourth quarter where Calvin Johnson got a carry, and me and Todd turned to each other. We're like, that was to give Jonathan one breather because he had run the ball like 10 or 12 straight times at one point or something.
Yeah, I think 8 in a row. I think he had 8 in a row.
8 in a row. And you're right, Mark. He, to me, put the team on his back. The O-line was great. They were fighting. It was a fight. It was a dog fight. And Guerrero, just if you want to know what Rio Hondo Prep football is about, you look at that guy, Nick Gonzalez, who was there in attendance, RHP alum, former CIF champ. He turned to me. He goes, "You did not undersell that guy," because I've talked about him a lot. He goes, "That dude is amazing."
He's an amazing player, and I'm pretty hands off as far as letting Randy run and control the offense, and he and Dave. And the only thing I would say into the mic was JG.
Keep going. Who's the coach? I think it was Eric Dickerson. They're like, how do you get, worry about all those carries? And he's like, the ball's not heavy. So there was a moment in the game, Mark, that for me summed up kind of the night. I don't know if I'm sure you do remember this, but two of your best players, McCullough, he was banged up. He had quite a night defensively. Was really fighting hard to get into the backfield, sacked the guy on the safety. Gio Ortega went down. Looked like, I don't want to speculate what it was, but he's had injuries, kind of been banged up. He got back in the game. He was fighting, but there was a moment where you put your arm around a kid, Nate Curtis, I believe. And, he looked a little scrawnier compared to some of your other athletes. And I go, man, that guy's got to be a sophomore and he's going in to replace Gio. And then I looked at your roster. I went, oh no, he's a freshman. So it was a night like that where you had to count on guys to go in and be like, hey, you got to plug the hole, man. You're the next one up.
Yep. You're the next man up. And we had, those guys you mentioned really didn't practice all week. One of our other key guys, Paul Lena, was sick all week, didn't practice. And so your conditioning is a little off when you don't practice all week. But those guys dug deep and did it. And we're not a deep team, as everyone knows. And I turned to Nate. I go, let's go. And his eyes were about this big. He's like, I'm going in. I'm like, yeah, you're going in. Let's go. But he did it, he was game for it. He did a good job. When we talk about, the future and all that, it's that's what's going to do it, is getting great players like we have now, but getting, 40% more guys, so a guy like Gio goes out, another guy like Gio's going in, and that's the goal. And, that's something that we're all striving for.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Indeed. Yeah, it was a moment I looked there and I was just like, oh boy, that's, and it's no knock on Nate. I mean, he's a freshman. Yeah. I wasn't ready to play varsity football as a freshman. I mean, and to go from a senior, one of your best guys to a substitute. I mean, it was a game where you needed everybody. And, that's real Hondo Prep football, man. He got in there. He hung in there, as I'm sure a lot of your young guys did. So I do have, Mark, a voicemail from someone from the Pacific Northwest that I would like to send your way. Let's see if I can do this.
Our nation, man, stretches all over.
It sure does, man. It sure does. If I don't know how to,
RHP family, like RHP family more than RHP nation. Yeah.
RHP family. You like that better? Okay. Let me see if I don't mess this up, Mark. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. This is a message from Real Hondo Prep alum Steve Allman. And if you don't hear anything, Mark, in the next 5 seconds or so, by all means, tell me. But here's a message from our good friend Steve Allman from the class of 2000.
Not hearing it, Matt.
Nothing. Okay. No worries. Technical difficulties here. I will switch the screen share to another one here. Buying time. Hang on. Let me.
All good. Yep.
Matter of fact, let me pause this. All right, Mark, let's try this again. Let's see if I know how to work some technology here. You know what? I'm telling you,
technology thingy.
The technology thingy. Yeah. You want to talk about, Nate Curtis going into the game and having wide eyes. Sometimes that's how I feel with this technology stuff. But let me see here one more time. Hey, Mark, how were the kids while I'm doing this? How were the kids, after the game? We saw them during the alma mater, disappointed and everything. But I mean, how were they in the locker room? How were they just, I don't know, behind closed doors that, the stuff we don't see?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Nate Curtis is going to be a great player. He's going to be a great player, and he'll be a name we'll be talking about for years to come on this podcast and around RHP football. So yeah, the locker room, obviously, with what was on the line, you lose a football game, you're exhausted for one, physically and emotionally, but you lose a game where, we had serious playoff implications. It's not out of the question. RHP family, we still got a shot, but this was our one guarantee, was to win out in league. And so you lose a game like that, and so much emotion involved, and you're just drained. And so I walked in there a few minutes after the guys, and it's almost complete silence. I think they were kind of waiting for coach to address the team, and I addressed the team, and you hear, the sobs going on, and then we kind of brought it in and did a hand pile, and guys hugged it up and stuff. And you're looking around, and it was, kind of for those guys who have played and lost their final game in a playoff game or whatever, or a championship, that's kind of how it felt. And, when you're in the inner circle like that, it was, you understand it, or if you've played, you understand it. I think the casual fan, or even some fans wouldn't quite understand it, but there's so much that just goes into a football game. So much energy, hard work, that you pour into it. And then when you lose and you're not on the right side, it's devastating, to the guys. And, but it was kind of, so that went on. And then we had our assistant coach, Allman, who's been with us for the past couple months from Kazakhstan. He asked to speak to the team, and he started by saying, guys, I haven't cried in 10 years, and he was in tears, and that just kind of spread. And he gave a really emotional, I won't get into the details, it's kind of, team stuff, but really emotional speech, and that he delivered to the guys. And by the end of that, there wasn't a coach, manager, player who wasn't sobbing. And then, but it kind of was a cool way to encapsulate the experience, and it's good for our guys to kind of let it out like that emotionally, and it kind of closed it all out. in I think a positive way. And, the guys hugged it out and embraced each other and told each other how much they loved each other. And it was good. Following the game, sending out texts to the guys, and in the morning, the sun did rise.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to still play for. And our message to the guys and to each other is, hey, we're going to rally. We're going to try to blow the doors off our next 3 opponents, finish 9-1, and make it really hard on CIF to not let us in. So we'll see. But yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And Mark, yeah, I want to make one thing clear from me and the alumni and everything. These kids, they did not let us down on Friday night. They played their hearts out, and we're disappointed that they lost, that we lost. We could say we're all part of it, but they should hold their heads high. We are all proud of them for their effort. If they weren't trying hard or whatever, yes, we would say, hey, come pick it up or whatever. But no, they played their hearts out. We're proud of them. We love them. And it is powerful stuff for me to hear that the kids care that much. And it makes us want to care more. I mean, I was disappointed driving home and even the next day, but that's life. That's football. You're going to have disappointment. So we're proud of them. And you know what? Yeah, we're going to cheer for them. And yeah, there's a little tickle in my throat as well, hearing that stuff, or tickle, in the watery eyes here. But no, God bless them all, man. And you guys for preparing them. So let's hear let's see if I don't mess this up now. Let's hear from one of those alumni. Mark, and here, tell me in a few seconds if you don't hear anything, but this is from Steve Allman, hopefully.
Matt, this is Steve Allman, class of 2000. This question is for Coach Carson. How is the coaching involved going from varsity down to JV, middle school, and Carrier Youth League? How much is it all intertwined? I'd just like to hear as far as the coaching style, the offense, how plays are called, how the defense is called, etc. And also, are the varsity men, are they still coaching the younger kids in Carrier Youth League? I'd like to hear about how you guys are doing all of that still. I know we coached when we were in high school. I think the program is wonderful, and what you guys are doing is great, and I'd like to hear more about it. And good luck this Friday against Campbell Hall. Can't wait to watch the game.
All right. Hey, great question, Steve. Steve, man, if you guys remember him, he's a great football player in his own right. And I know he's up there, part of the coaching staff for his son's team, which is really cool up in Oregon. So I'm sure those questions might have a little bearing on what they're doing up there. The answer is it's very intertwined. Every level on down, obviously, the further you get away from varsity, the less it's going to mirror what we're doing. But we still like the positions to be called the same thing, the terminology, so that gets ingrained kind of in the kids' heads. And but for sure, starting in middle school, they're running everything we're running. And I meet with even Coach Devin Drain, who does the defense for our middle school team, and we usually meet during the week, and he goes over his kind of defensive game plan and what I think and all that. And it's great. And so there's definitely that continuity all the way through. And not all, but a lot of the care coaches now have played at Rio under this current coaching style we have, coaching regime. And so, they don't know anything else. So that's what they're using that. And so it's cool. I think it's definitely part of the secret sauce of RHP football, the continuity that we have there.
That's beneficial big time, Mark, for you guys, the terminology, and you're not giving them, algebra as seven-year-olds, but you start with basic math and then, but it's still the same system, this terminology. That's got to be great. It's one less thing for you to have to explain as they do get to varsity. So that is really, really interesting. I wasn't quite aware of that. Great question, Steve. And I think you had another question, Mark, about the kids coaching.
Yeah. It's kids still coach, and that's awesome part of our program. It's strictly volunteer. We encourage them all to do it, and most of our guys do it. And that's cool too. It gets them to kind of develop a mindset of service, right? Going out and doing something for these kids. which is awesome. And I think you see that kind of through our alumni that a lot of them get into jobs that where that's kind of part of it. Or even someone like you, Matt, who's doing this podcast. I don't think you're making a ton of money off it, but kind of proven. And so that's, it's just, it's cool to see our kids carry that. And there's other benefits. I think it kind of sharpens their football mind. If you got to figure out how to run, you got to figure out how to get some 10-year-olds to move the ball down the field. It's going to make you a little sharper. And I think they appreciate what goes into preparing a team a little bit more. And it's great camaraderie. It helps with recruiting in that, those parents of those care kids see these high school kids out there and gets them asking questions. Oh, tell me about these high school kids. Well, they go to our school and they come out here and volunteer. So it just helps continue the cycle. So yeah, Steve, it's a big part of it. What they learned through stuff like that and through a loss, even last night, they'll probably remember that loss more than any of our wins, this year. And responding to adversity. We told all our guys, hey guys, we're going to walk out with our head held high, let it all out, take as much time you need in the locker room. But when we step out that door, your head's held high. And we're going to rally and go back to work on Monday, lick our wounds definitely over the weekend, but go back to work on Monday and get ready for Brentwood team who's going to be another big game out there on Friday. So it's all part of it. And it's what makes football and our sport so cool, that you can really learn so much about yourself and about human nature and just about life through the sport.
It's the greatest game there is. I'll argue with anyone who wants to about it. It's the best game. Too many life lessons you learned in it. It's amazing, especially at the high school level. You mentioned it, Mark. You guys are going on the road to play Brentwood, a night game there, which I remember that you used to not have lights. But anyway, one of your final away game. You have 3 games remaining. Talk to me real quick before you got to go about the playoff scenarios. We kind of talked last week about you kind of had to win this game, but there is still hope. Alumni want to know. So run us through, if you will, what the last hope is to make the playoffs.
Yeah. So the only guarantee was to win out in league, go 4-0 or 3-0 and win out in league. And so now it's not guaranteed, and we have to win out, of course. And then it comes down to, and it's funny, I mean, Dave Drain, who does a great job with all this stuff, we always get together after games and we're at my house and having some In-N-Out burger and is kind of talking about the game, rehashing it. And Dave brought out this giant whiteboard, and he has already gamed it out. And he says, basically it comes down to, there's 3 at-large berths per division. There's 14 divisions in CIF. And 16 playoff spots. Is that right? 16 playoff spots. So 13 gets filled by AQ, which stands for automatic qualifiers, which are what we would have done if we won out. And then the other 3 are at large, but that's, I think there's 14 times 3, whatever that is, 42 at large or something. Is that right? 42. Yeah. 42 at large spots. And so you got it. From there, it's not really subjective. It's more objective. It's where you fall in the divisions, and it's all this computer ranking where you fall. And then they're going to, if you happen to be in a division that needs at large teams and you're one of the top 3, you get it. And so according to Dave's calculations, we have about a 40% chance to get in if we went out. So that's something, though, and it's definitely something to hang on to and strive for. All you can control is what you can control, what's in front of you. And, one game at a time, all those cliches. Taking on Brentwood this Friday, a team that is 3-4 with wins over Salesian, Burbank, and Carpinteria, and losses to Mission Prep, Oak Park, Palisades, and St. Genevieve. So do you know anything about Brentwood, Mark? What they do? Kind of, have you seen them on film yet? Yeah, spread team. They'll with a couple very dynamic players. Don't let that record fool you. Their 4 losses have been to 4 really good teams. so they're gonna bring it. And they've recently installed lights on that field over there, and kind of a pretty cool vibe at that stadium they have on campus. And so they know. I mean, they're still in the playoff hunt too, because they still got us, and so this game is huge for them. And going on the road on a Friday, it'll be fun. We're ready for that and looking forward to it.
Well, Facebook Live should be back up and running this week with Robert Bray doing a great job as always. So we will be tuning in for sure. Always appreciate getting the game film from you, Mark, so I can watch it late at night. And there's hope. There's hope, guys. The Rio Hondo team got to win out, and you know what? But one game at a time, and then hopefully with some at-large love here, based off of the rankings and projection. I think you guys were projected like Division 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah,
when you saw that.
Yeah, which is crazy. But that actually helps us because there's more automatic qualifiers, or there'll be less at-large teams to choose from in that. And so, it's crazy to say, but we got to kind of want to finish high to get in. So
that's 22. well, Mark, go ahead.
But open obviously with this great senior class who missed out on the playoffs. A lot of them were on our 2019 team that went to the playoffs and had a run. But obviously with last year, the pandemic, we had that cool game with the Rose Bowl against Pauley, which was kind of like the highlight of that season. But this great senior class, this is an awesome group. It'd be a shame for them not to get that playoff experience, because that's special. So
definitely
being praying that we take care of business, and that CIF maybe does use a little subjectivity and see, wow, 9-1. Maybe we take out some of the 4-6 teams and 3-7 teams, and
a 7-point loss,
to a team that's going to go undefeated. So, anyway, but yeah, that's where we're at.
We need some Rio Hondo magic off the field, but we need it on the field too. So Mark, thanks for joining me today. I know you got to get running here on a Sunday morning, but hey, get back to work Monday. We're proud of the kids. You know what? Lessons are learned from losses. And yes, to the senior class out there, it's been fun chatting with these guys the last few weeks on this show. Looking forward to Jonathan Guerrero here in a few minutes.
Yep. Sounds good, Matt. Thank you. And thank you, RHP family, for your continued support.
Sounds great, Mark. Talk to you next week.
Yep.
Thanks again, Mark Carson, for joining the podcast today as we recap the big game from Friday night. Unfortunately, a loss, but hey, life goes on. We're looking forward to more games here the next few weeks, and I'm confident that Rio is going to get it together, pull it together, and put together a nice resume here for CIF to hopefully accept them into the playoffs. So we're rooting for you guys. Hang in there, keep working hard. It's not over. And if nothing else, enjoy every snap of Rio Hondo prep football, guys. To the players out there, whether you're a senior or not, man, this is just it's something that anyone listening to this podcast who was an alumni of Rio, we wish we could go back and do just one time, just one quarter, just one snap, just one series, anything. So we're pulling for you guys. Enjoy every moment, guys. Seriously. And we're very, very proud of you guys for your effort on Friday night. Talking with Mark every Friday or Sunday, I should say, about the games Friday. It takes me back to a time when Mark and I used to go to football games all the time. If the Rio games were on Saturdays, I know my senior year was a lot of Saturday games. We would go to a game Friday night, random games, Long Beach Poly, Charter Oak. We would find a good game. And him and I just enjoyed watching football together, talking football together. And so it's kind of fun to do that here. We thought maybe one day we'd coach together, but it's just funny how things work out later in life. Not exactly how you thought they would, but kind of just tweaked a little bit. So Mark and I having a football conversation every week has been a joy for me, and something I really remembered, cherished our friendship going back to when we would go to a lot of big games, just to go watch football and learn something and to enjoy the competition. So an absolute blast talking to Coach Carson weekly here on the podcast. I mentioned our show Wednesday, guys. There will be some sports topics. I will try to bring in a guest, although no promises there. Just me for probably 30, 40 minutes. And then on Friday, we are going to be joined. Let me make sure I wrote this down. I have these these podcasts recorded already, and sometimes I just want to make sure I do them in the right order. We're going to have on the program an individual suggested to me by my good friend Todd Carson, John Dutton. John Dutton played professional football in the Arena League for over 10 years. He played college football at Nevada, actually led the nation in passing as a quarterback, and had a great career in the Arena League. He now does great work as a coach, but also as a missionary. He's been a missionary. He has a program. What's it called? So I'm sorry. I've been all over the place this morning. But he does great work in ministry, in serving others, and through sports. So you don't want to miss the episode on Friday. A fun conversation with John Dutton. He actually has coached with Todd up in Northern California, my good friend Todd Carson. So a fun conversation I recorded with John Dutton recently that I think you guys will enjoy on Friday. And for those new to the podcast, we have the Monday Real Hondo Prep football recap show, preview show for the upcoming game. Wednesdays, just some random sports topics and random thoughts from me. And then Fridays is a long form interview with a fun guest, try to mix it up and have different people on. And so just talk about life and learn something. So that is just a little bit about what's ahead on the podcast. But what is for us in front of us right now is an interview with senior running back, Jonathan Guerrero. I've been watching this guy for 4 years. The first time I saw him run the ball in a playoff game as a freshman, my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe he was a varsity football player, little guy. I was impressed with his toughness then. I still am impressed with his toughness to this day as a senior. If you haven't had a chance to see this guy play in person, I really encourage you, get out to a game. Your jaw will drop. He is pound for pound one of the toughest football players I've ever seen. Had an amazing sophomore year as the starting running back for Rio, and in the COVID shortened season of his junior year, racked up a ton of yards. Friday night, he was the workhorse for Rio with a lot of guys injured, and 27 carries for 195 yards. We'll tell you kind of the story there, but it's my privilege now to be joined by senior running back and safety and kick returner and all kinds of other things as well. But mostly we know him as the tailback, the running back, the main ball carrier for Real Hondo Prep. We are now joined by Jonathan Guerrero. Okay, I'm joined by senior running back Jonathan Guerrero, also known by his teammates by JG. So whatever you want to call him, fans out there, just know that he's one of the best running backs really I've ever seen. Jonathan, good morning. And I got to ask you, man, after all those carries and that hard-fought game on Friday, first off, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling physically?
Kind of sore, my neck could barely move it back left and right, but my body just felt weak the next day. But other than that, I felt fine, just speed up a little bit.
Yeah, a little recovery time. Do you do anything specific to kind of recoup after a football game, especially one like that?
Not really. Just wake up and train the next morning and just take hot showers.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Good stuff, man. Well, Jonathan, you guys lost Friday night. Tough game. I know you guys are disappointed, but from RHP fans and alum, we're very proud of you guys for the effort you guys put out. I know the ultimate goal is to win there, but you guys, I thought, really represented Real Hondo well. Guys were banged up. Gio was hurt. Ryan McCullough was hurt. And so you got the bulk of the carries, man. 27 carries, 195 yards, and a lot of like tough short runs. You like breaking long runs, but you had a lot of tough short runs, man. Did you feel stronger as the game went on, or were you kind of, I don't know, were you struggling at all? To be honest, I mean, you seemed to me like you were getting stronger as the game went on and kept playing hard.
I finally got my second win. So
second win.
I was tired at first, and then I was like, all right, let's go. Let's keep doing this. I'm not going to get those long runs, it's going to be too tired. So I just get those short runs and, work from there, get like 5 yards, 7 yards, because that's going to work every time I get first down. So, yeah.
Jonathan, you're a lot of fun to watch. You had touchdown rounds of 3 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, and you had a touchdown reception of 28 yards. So, I mean, you did it all for Rio on Friday night. You were named the 210 Prep Sports Athlete of the Week for your performance on Friday night. I know a lot of people respect you. James Escarcega was there from the Star News. 210 Sports, covers you well. I've talked a lot about you. Do you feel supported really from kind of the outside of Rio, kind of getting that support and recognition for your efforts?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's great. Just being supported by those people, it just feels good.
Well, Jonathan, your offensive line had their work cut out for them on Friday. They played very well. It wasn't perfect all game, but you guys really grinded it out. And I know they were working hard for you, and you took some shots, man. Every time you got drilled, you pop right back up. You're very durable, man. Do you where do you get that toughness from? Is it from that Guerrero last name? I know your dad and your brother played. I mean, where do you get that toughness from?
For my size, just small, always been tough when I was little. So always going to expect big hits from other people since I'm just the smallest, but that doesn't stop me. So,
yeah, your dad made a comment about you've played football since you were 5 years old and you've never been injured, missed a game to, miss time because of injury. So maybe it started, playing with the brothers back in the backyard or whatever, but man, you seem to get up after every big hit and you're ready to go. So you're a tough dude, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it always seems like I get injured, off the field instead of like on the field, like rolling my ankle or hurting my hamstring or something like that. So it's never on the field. So.
Well, yeah, Jonathan, you're very impressive. I've been around football a long time and seen a lot of players. You're a very small dude, short in stature. Look like you put on some muscle this year. You look thicker in a good way. You've run for, let's see here, 883 yards. So you're approaching that 1,000-yard mark. What has it been like to carry the ball? You've done it for 4 years now. I mean, you got some time as a freshman. Great year, your sophomore year. What has it been like to be the premier, the main featured back here for the Rio Hondo offense for at least 3 years?
It's exciting. I love running the ball. It's really great. And just having the opportunity just to get yards and making a big play and scoring. So it's really fun. And I just love it.
Well, you will definitely be one of the top backs Rio's ever had. And there's been some great ones. Some really, really great players before have come and Jonathan, you're a very humble guy. We haven't talked a whole lot outside of this podcast, but you just seem to be a guy that does your job. You congratulate your teammates, your O-line. What has it been like with this senior class? You guys I've talked with a few of you the past few weeks. It seems like a real special bond. And outside of your seniors, I mean, what has it been like playing with these guys for a few years now?
It's been great. I really love these guys. They're a great group of guys and great teammates. And, we've been playing ever since we were little. So we just have that bond together, just like play for each other, have each other's backs. So it's really great, and they play really hard, both ways. And, they're just great football players. So
what else impressed me on Friday, Jonathan, was your defensive game. You played safety. I think you led the team in tackles with 7 tackles. There was extra points. I think you went out. That was about it. You were playing both ways. So you got to tackle some of those guys as well after they were hitting you a little bit. You enjoy playing defense also?
Yeah, it's fun.
Contact.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I asked Gio Ortega this a few weeks ago. I needed an honest answer here. If you guys have a foot race, not just a straight 50-yard dash, we'll say who's faster, you or Gio?
Man, if I'm being honest, if I gotta be honest, then probably Gio, but we could figure this out like sooner or later.
Yeah.
Figure this out. But
maybe the end of the season, let's have a sprint and the podcast will cover it and you guys can have bragging rights. Jonathan, he was a great guy. I know he's banged up a little bit here, but really impressed with Gio's toughness, fighting through some injuries. I mean, really exemplifies alongside of you kind of what Rio Hondo prep football is all about. Jonathan, you are a team captain alongside Damian Diaz and Gio Ortega, and I believe Paul Elena. Is that right?
Yes.
Paulina. Yeah. So what does it mean to you to be a team captain? Are you an outspoken leader? Talk to me about those other guys too. We've had a few of them on the program already, but what does it mean to you to be a team captain?
Make sure we like encourage each other, like any of the bad plays that happen, make sure we don't get in each other's head. Like Gio, when I fumbled that one play, told me to keep my head up and get other teammates that encourage me. So not to get in my own head, and I gotta make sure I don't get in my own head and make sure I just move on from that play. So, team captains just make sure they check on each other and just make sure everything's okay, and make sure you just focus on the next play and not worry about the past, and just keep moving on and just keep playing as hard as you can, and make sure you're doing your jobs right, and just make sure you go out and give all you can on the field.
Good stuff, man. What is one of your, or maybe a couple, what are your favorite plays to run? You like having the ball in your hands? Do you like running in the middle? You like getting to the outside? Kind of what are some of your favorite plays?
I really like the blast plays. I can just cut in and then cut out real quick. And then maybe some toss plays, just really quick and just get around the corner. So mostly just like blasts and tosses.
It's impressive for anyone who sees you. They'd be like, oh, that's just a guy that runs around people. But no, you're a guy, you run inside very, very well. And maybe you're hard to see. I don't know. The O-line does a great job. Those blast plays, those kind of, I don't know if they're called scissor plays, where it's kind of a counter situation, but you run really well inside, Jonathan. I mean, sometimes you're through the line and by everybody before they know it. So, I mean, man, you take pride in that and kind of running inside behind those O-line.
The line is great. They can hold their blocks for a couple seconds, give me that time, just get through and it will be fine, and they did really great Friday night. So,
I noticed also this season, you've been catching some more passes. You've kind of been out in the open there, and you had a touchdown reception on Friday night, 28 yards. It kind of got things going for Rio. You like getting out in the backfield, catching passes, and then, getting past everybody.
Yeah. We always work on that after practice called PRP. So, Damien just always tells us, hey, let's throw a couple passes after, throw a couple balls after practice, and, it works. So
that's what it's all about, man. Putting in the extra work. You know that more than anybody. Jonathan, did you go to some, I think I saw this. Did you go to some, I don't know, like camps and things the past few years? Have you been exposed kind of to some other football activities outside of Rio, just some opportunities to kind of be seen?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of camps. I've been to like USA camp, Next Gen, these help me improve my skills. And yeah, I've been texting, emailing some college coaches, but they're out of the state, so I don't really know if I'm interested, but I guess we'll have to see, because I really want to play football, but we'll just have to see what happens.
No, well, that's great, man. And I would love to see you continue and play at the next level. I think you absolutely can. I think a lot of people will underestimate you because of your size, and maybe that happened in some of these camps. But if people just watch your body of work, I think they can see a really, really good football player. So, it's good to have options, but man, if someone offers you somewhere, don't be afraid to go outside of state or whatever. But if you could stay local, that's great. That way we could see you in person. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for you, I'm sure. And I'm pulling for you, man. I hope we do see you playing on Saturdays soon.
Thank you.
Well, Jonathan, talk to me about your family, that Guerrero last name. I saw your dad walking the sideline quite a bit, filming games. He was a legendary football player at Rio. Your brother played at Rio. What's it mean for you to kind of be representing the family? And do they ever kind of, give you pointers? When I was playing, this is how it was, or anything like that?
My dad definitely texts me before games, be like, okay, hey, make sure you watch this. Make sure you watch this. Like, okay, I got you. And they're really supportive. So, I'm glad they're there for me and just help support me. So yeah, they're a great family, great parents. And
gotta love it, man. That's awesome. I love the RHP family of RHP football. It's something special. A lot of alumni out there rooting for you, and our people are amazed by you specifically, your size and your toughness. So keep it up, man. No matter what happens here, enjoy every snap, enjoy every play, Jonathan, because, you saw it last year with only the 3-game season. I mean, You can't take it for granted. Every snap of real football you have left in your career here, you got to enjoy.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this, Jonathan. What are your plans? You talked about college a little bit, playing ball. What are some things maybe you're thinking about after high school, maybe career-wise or studying? Kind of what do you have in mind after football?
I'm not quite sure, but I'm leaning towards like computer science, maybe something to do with math, maybe, but I'm not really quite sure yet. I don't really know what I want to do yet. So hopefully, I figure that out soon.
Yeah. No, you got time, man. You got time. That's cool. It seems like you got good head on your shoulders. A math guy, huh? I was never math. Wow. You're one of those guys, smart at math and computers. Wow.
Besides doing geometry, because that's terrible.
Yeah. Oh boy, don't get me started. What classes are you taking? What do you like? I don't know. Electives? Are you in choir or band, or kind of what other classes are you taking? What do you like to do outside of football?
Like school wise, like just anything, or like
school. Yeah. What are some of the classes? I mean, it's your senior year.
I'm taking like AP stats, and that's
wow.
Hard. I don't know if that really has to do with math, more like reading. But AP psych and history, band. Our band is kind of good. What
instrument do you play?
Trumpet.
My man, I love it. Good man. Trumpeter myself back in the day. So good stuff. Good stuff. You guys, it's still like a concert type band, right? You guys don't march or anything?
Yeah, we don't. That's only in middle school, I'm pretty sure.
What do you guys got? What are you guys playing for the upcoming, what would it be? Christmas festival?
Yeah. You playing 3 songs: Let It Snow, Jolly. I forgot music.
You just read the music. You're good. You got other things to worry about. You got football plays and statistics and all kinds of other stuff going on.
I know one. Just Let It Snow. That's a good song.
Good song. Yeah. No, playing the trumpet's a lot of fun. So outside of school and when you're not training for football or lifting weights or practicing, what do you like to do? Are you a video games guy? Do you like to watch college football? What do you do outside of playing football?
Yeah, I like playing, video games, and also watching college football with my dad and NFL, watching the Bengals, because my favorite team is the Bengals.
Favorite team is the Bengals. Wow. Where did that come from? I got to know this story. Did you just pick a random team?
I just started liking them like a while ago. I don't know why, but it's just they've been doing pretty good. So I mean, for now,
I like Joe Burrow, man. I think he's a great quarterback, and that's just that's very, very out there. I just haven't heard of. I don't know many Bengals fans, and they haven't been very good recently, Jonathan. So to kind of attach to them, I respect you for that.
But yeah, that's what I like doing, just playing video games and listening to music and just chilling at home.
Nice. Chilling at home. Good stuff. So the Bengals play the Packers today. Tough test. Very tough test. I think the Bengals are up for an upset though.
Hopefully they don't get blown out or anything.
You got to take down Aaron Rodgers. Who's a running back in the NFL? Since you're a running back, who's someone in the NFL that you watch and you're like, man, that guy's a stud player. I like that guy. I like his running style.
I like watching Saquon Barkley. He's a big guy, and just the way he runs, he's fast, and he got like shifty a little bit, and he's his legs are really big.
Big guy. If he could stay healthy, right? I mean,
stay healthy.
Yeah. He's fun to watch. He was great in college, and we hope you're playing in college here next year, Jonathan. No pressure. Do what's best for you. But you know what? Enjoy every snap of Real Hondo Prep football here down the road, man. It's only a few left, and you're a lot of fun to watch. I can't say it enough, and I hope to see you a lot more along the way. So good luck the rest of the season, man. Finish strong, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Jonathan. My best to your dad and your family as well.
Bye.
Well, thank you, Jonathan Guerrero, for joining us on the program today. Another senior We've had 4 of them here the past few weeks. It's been a joy for me to talk to these guys. It takes me back 20 something years ago to when I was a senior playing football, just the look in their eyes and to hear from them and everything. It's really something special. And thanks to Coach Mark Carson for tuning in again today, recapping the game. Sure, it wasn't easiest thing to talk about after a loss, but hey, that's life, and life keeps going, life keeps spinning. But thanks to Mark Carson and Jonathan Guerrero for making this program a fun one today. It was a blast. Put us in a better mood after a tough loss. Congrats to Jonathan Guerrero too on all he has accomplished. The 210 Prep Sports Player of the Week this week. Absolutely deserves that after the great game he had on Friday night, and really a great career at Rio Hondo Prep. I hope it continues somewhere else along the way, but if he chooses not to pursue football, then hey, nothing wrong with that as well. So congrats to Jonathan. And I've talked about him for a few years now, but pound for pound, he is one of the best football players I've ever seen. So if you haven't had a chance to see him in person, please get out to a game. And if nothing else, check it out online, some of his highlights and things. So guys, that will wrap up today's episode of the Get Home Safe podcast, our Rio Hondo Prep football show on Mondays. We'll be doing this throughout the end of the season, and then we might make some changes to our scheduling. But for now, it's Rio Hondo football Mondays, random sports and topics with me on Wednesdays, and a long form conversation with a guest on Fridays. Friday, we're going to be joined by John Dutton. You don't want to miss that. If you're a football fan, if you're a fan of missionary work and kind of just reaching others with the ministry and things, he's done amazing work. You really want to tune into that on Friday. Of course, before you head out to Brentwood to watch Rio Hondo play on the road, right? Taking on the Brentwood Eagles, I believe they are. I should have looked that up. But anyway, Rio Hondo on the road this week against Brentwood. We wish him nothing but the best, and we'll be back on Monday to recap that game and talk some more RHP football. So send in those questions, send in those topics. You heard from Steve Allman today, a member of the class of 2000, who sent in a voice message, and couldn't thank him enough for that. Great question. And if you don't want to have your voice heard, send us an email with some questions or just your thoughts on the overall program of the Rio Hondo Prep football team. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. You know where to follow us on social media, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, comment. We love all that stuff. But guys, have a great rest of your week. I'll be back with some sports and randomness on Wednesday. But until then, guys, no matter what you're doing, whether you're out on the town or around in third base, get home safe.